You'll be aware that fasting is one of the most talked about strategies for weight loss. But did you know that despite fasting seemingly being a pretty straightforward idea, there are actually several different ways to do it for weight loss? That's why today we thought we'd run through them. But first, as always, please take note of our disclaimer. The first type of fasting we'll explain is time restricted eating. This is when someone will voluntarily go through periods of withstanding all calories for a certain length of time with an eating window every so often. Time restricting eating covers intermittent fasting, probably the most well known type of fasting overall. This will primarily have an eating window for a few hours daily. The allowance for eating varies though, from the standard 16 to 8 hour fasting to eating window to maybe as large as a 20 to 4 hour fasting to eating window. Alternatively, the less known time restricted eating method, the 5-2 diet, would entail someone not worrying about fasting 5 days a week but reducing their calories to around 600 on 2 days. Next, we have bone broth fasting. But unlike either form of time restricted eating patterns, which are continual and can be undertaken for the long term, bone broth fasting is only done rarely, like every few months for maybe 3 days or so. It's not a fast per se like intermittent fasting or the 5-2 diet, where there are set parameters for calorie absence either. Instead, people can have around a 40-calorie cup of bone broth every 2 or 3 hours throughout the day to help keep their micronutrient and amino acids levels up for their health. Nevertheless, even though bone broth fasting does not involve foregoing calories completely for a certain time duration like a traditional fast, it's still proposed that it can derive many of the weight loss benefits of fasting because the overall daily calories one consumes on it remain low enough. Moreover, another advantage of bone broth fasting is that a cup of bone broth, along with electrolyte supplementation, helps keep electrolyte levels in check. This is important during fasting, in particular, because when carb intake takes a drastic hit, as one can expect on a diet that cuts calories by a lot, electrolyte levels do too, which makes sticking to the diet that much more difficult due to the associated symptoms it brings upon. As a result, bone broth fasting is said to be a more straightforward method to garner the benefits of fasting. Yet the trade-off for its regular, albeit marginal, calorie consumption to help stave off these symptoms is that there's no eating window where you're allowed to have your choosing of foods like time-restricted eating allocates. Rather, you're expected to just have around 8 cups of bone broth in total spread out daily, along with electrolyte supplements. That might sound drastic, and it is, but because bone broth fasting is only recommended for a very short time duration, advocates of the diet say it's not harmful to health. This leads us to the last popular fasting method you may have heard about, the fasting mimicking diet. As you may guess due to its name, this works similarly to bone broth fasting in that it does not involve periods of going without food. Promoted to be able to achieve many of the benefits of traditional fasting by just keeping the calories very low day to day. It typically has the same advised duration of around 3 to 5 days too, but with the fasting mimicking diet, it doesn't go to extreme calorie restriction like bone broth fasting does. Opposed to the latter, where one is supposed to have around 300 calories per day, the fasting mimicking diet usually allows 1,100 calories on the first day of the diet with 700 calories daily in the following days. Of course, even though that is a considerable increase from one to the other, it still doesn't come near to the 1,500 calories advised for healthy men per day and 1,200 for healthy women at the very least. But again, because the diet is only meant to be short-lived, people who promote it say it isn't dangerous for healthy adults. On a side note, if you're interested in undertaking our evidence-based and results-backed personalized Plato weight management program, please click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video or follow the link in the description. Okay, so now that we know what the different types of popular fasting or fasting-like methods are, how are they proposed to help with weight loss? Well, from a metabolic point of view, these diets are suggested to help weight through improved serum levels of IGF-1, IGF-BP1, glucose, and ketone bodies. In addition, due to the facilitation of fewer calories through any of these forms of fasting, weight loss will, of course, coincide that way too. But it's worth pointing out that a significant amount of the lost weight will be from reduced glycogen and water stores from the accompanying carbohydrate or calorie restriction. As such, once you return to regular eating habits and restore your carb intake, you will regain some of the lost weight by replenishing these stores. Also, it's important to point out that when people undergo severe calorie restriction, the body tends to fight back against it by slowing down their metabolism, saving more calories they are burning day to day, and changing appetite hormone levels to try and urge them to consume more calories. This is particularly notable for the fasting-like diets mentioned, that excessively reduce your calories because it could mean that after you spend a few days on them, not only will you eat more than you did prior to the diet, but you will also burn fewer calories at rest. One study found that low-calorie diets can decrease the number of calories the body expends by up to a quarter, which can happen for a long time after the overly restrictive diet has ceased. But what's your thoughts on these diets for weight loss? Have you had any successes or failures with them? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. So that has been our video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.